The NBA offseason has been absolutely wild so far. So many different pieces moving around the league. So many teams decided that they need to either go all in or completely tank. And just a few minutes ago, the most recent crazy news broke. Jordan Poole, not long after getting signed to a massive extension for the Golden State Warriors, is now leaving the Golden State Warriors, and he's headed to the Washington Wizards. And Chris Paul, who the Wizards acquired in the trade for Bradley Beal when Bradley Beal went to the Suns, is now headed to the Golden State Warriors. Breaking, the Wizards and Warriors have agreed to a deal to send Chris Paul to Golden State for a package that includes Jordan Poole and future draft assets. Now, in terms of the future draft assets, it looks like there's a couple maybe first-round picks involved in this, which I think is a little wild. Obviously, Chris Paul is a future Hall of Famer, but Chris Paul is also seemingly unavailable a lot. He did not have a great year. When you look at his numbers this year, he's definitely getting up there in age. So the idea that not only are you trading Jordan Poole, who just a few years ago you thought was good enough to sign to a massive extension, although he fell apart this year, especially in the playoffs, a massive disappointment. But you're trading not only Jordan Poole, but also some big assets to get back Chris Paul. Let's look at some of these details. The Golden State Warriors are acquiring Chris Paul from the Washington Wizards for a trade package headlined by Jordan Poole. Golden State is sending Poole a protected 2030 first rounder and a 2027 second round pick to Washington for Paul, according to Shams Charania. The Wizards signed Poole to a 4-year, $140 million extension before last season. And we even saw Draymond Green just opted out of his contract with the Warriors. He and Jordan Poole famously had problems in the preseason. You had big moves when it comes to Boston. Boston was trying to get a big deal going to get Kristaps Porzingis from the Wizards to the Celtics. That fell apart, and then just a few hours later, they made the trade happen anyway. Marcus Smart headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. Kristaps Porzingis headed to the Boston Celtics. It's been a fucking wild couple days in the NBA. Obviously, the Warriors felt like they needed to make some changes after coming up short in this playoff run, and I think that's absolutely the case. But are they going to be able to win trading away Jordan Poole and putting Chris Paul on that team? I'm not sure. Obviously, there's a lot of shooters on that team, but if you're putting a lineup of Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson on the floor all at the same time, then you start to worry about defensive liability and things like that, especially with an aging Chris Paul. Klay Thompson obviously still a very good defender, but if all of a sudden, you got two relatively shorter guys on the floor with Steph Curry and Chris Paul, if you're going to play them at the 1 and the 2, that is going to immediately shift Klay down. This seems like a pretty small lineup. Obviously, they might be sizing up without Draymond Green there. If they don't get Draymond Green re-signed, who knows what the fuck happens to him. But either way, long story short, after signing a huge deal in the offseason, Jordan Poole is now headed to the Wizards. And it looks like the Wizards, listen, they've emptied out a lot of this shit. I don't know. I don't think they want to win right now. I think they want to tank based on who they just traded away. Having Jordan Poole basically now as the centerpiece of your franchise. We'll see what he's able to do there. But what a wild couple weeks in the NBA. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.